Hey, welcome everyone to the Story Trading Weekly Meetup. We got a couple update presentations today on VIP stocks, QC, copper, and gold. So before we do that, though, let's go ahead and go through some logistics and housekeeping notes. There you see our disclaimer. Story Trading is not an investment advisor. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. We are recording this event will be provided to our VIP members for a period of 7 days, and then we'll put that up on YouTube next week. First, before we get into the program for tonight, just want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen it, we are now in a regular cadence, hopefully going forward, getting articles published into the financial wire services through our partner Benzinga every time we have a VIP presentation. If the speakers decide to kind of help us out with an article. So in this case, we had Kevin Crawford give us a draft article on BTSI. We made it pretty, wrapped the bow on it, talked about our 4 pillars, submitted to Benzinga, and it hit the news feeds. Same with Rel, Richardson Electronics, even though we had a typo there in the title. But in any case, that's exciting for Story Trading. It's a great way for us to get the word out about the stocks that we are doing due diligence on at Story Trading. And it's also a way for our contributors to raise their profile and get followers to their Twitter or whatever it may be. So tonight we're going to be getting an update on 2 VIP picks. Actually, I did have SMSI first, so I got to jump ahead. We're going to go to QCCUF. There it is. So this is a VIP pick from Chris Hampton. It's up 36%. Forgot the percentage there to date. Which is really outperforming. Good job, Chris. Outperforming a lot of other stocks through the volatility. It was up 120% at the peak. It's a $29 million market cap company. Here you can see the chart. This is a daily candles, and it's wonderful that it's holding the 200 DMA. Man, a lot of stocks, you have to switch to the weekly candles because a lot of stocks have violated their key moving averages on the daily. But here on QCC, the daily still looks good. We still have support there at the 200-day moving average. So with that, we're going to learn about more information here from Chris on fundamentals, and together with the community, we're going to collaborate on sentiment, catalysts, and technicals so we can understand better what the story is behind the trade. So Chris, welcome back to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Ben?
Hey, I love your baseball cap. Looks good on
you. It's from the Ministry of Interior of Bahrain.
Ah, very nice. It makes you look younger. Like it. Good luck for you.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
All right, great. So, you know what? I asked you to present because QC's been holding up, and and I just wanted to kind of get an update from your view with the market volatility. Is QC a safe pick here? Is it considered a risk asset? What's going on? How do interest rates affect this? Tell us the whole story, Chris.
I mean, I spent a lot of time kicking at the QC story and financials from every angle I can find, and it's hard for me to see much risk at all there. They have the resources, and those resources are of value many, many times greater than their current market cap or enterprise value. So it's just waiting for those resources to get proven up a little more, waiting for a better market, and waiting for some of the supply of stock to dissipate. QC, like most juniors, had to start off its life and fund its exploration by selling shares at extortionate deals, really cheap shares with warrants. And 2021 was really the year when most of those became free trading. I think 60 million shares, cheap private placement shares, went free trading, plus warrants expiring in a year. So, I think that's a lot of the reason for the decline from its peak. And the way the stock's been held back so far. Really at a low price considering the value of what they own, which is,
And
yeah. Ben?
yeah, and so, but what do you think about inflation? If we have it, if we don't have it, higher
Well,
interest
inflation is
rates.
fantastic for copper. I mean, commodities are the place to be. And commodities are inflation. Yeah,
Okay.
their price will go up. It's hard to know. It's a chicken and egg kind of question, but yeah, commodities are a great place to be during inflationary periods.
So what's your outlook for inflation? You think inflation is with us, or you think it's going to be under control with potentially higher rates?
I'm agnostic. If I had to say, I think we'll get it under control, but I'm well positioned if we don't.
Okay.
I'm well positioned if we do. I mean, QC is going to do fine.
Okay. And regarding like the floor, I know they own shares of both baseload, or they've been selling some off. And I'm wondering if the chart, in fact, I'm going to share it again so we can look at it together. So I'm wondering if you can speak to any fundamentals, perhaps, that is allowing this technical line to hold. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's gotten down to, if you look, it's just touching the prices it was trading at. That jump right there in September, where it starts flying, that was the day they released their maiden resource estimate, where for the first time the market got a taste of what they own in any remotely official form. So it had great 3 weeks. So it's traded down to just about that level. I mean, it would just be such a travesty if QC started trading down into the levels where it was trading before it officially had any resources. It would be ridiculous. There's a 2 billion pounds of copper change between August and September.
Mm-hmm. And what about their balance sheet? Didn't they get some cash from selling some baseload shares?
Actually, it was brilliant. Their CEO did an offering in September, and he pretty much top ticked the stock. He did an offering on very good terms, above market price, using flow through, and then he sold a third of his baseload shares and top ticked that as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he's funded up, and as he puts it, I said, you know, how are you going to spend it? He said, I'm going to spend it as quickly as I can. And he's got a very aggressive drill campaign that's going to go on. It's going to fund drilling throughout 2022.
So all that money is going into drilling. So you think they're not going to need to raise money again?
Not for the
not
for the next year. And when they do, they'll be much better positioned.
Right. That's good to know. And so any thoughts on the floor here? Like, given that balance, well, you know what? I was going to say, like, that's not always in this market, not necessarily a safety net. You know, if you have a very, like, there are stocks trading below a 0 EV, right? Because they're not making money yet, right? So they have that cash on the balance sheet. It's close to 0, right?
Yeah, it's touch negative EV.
Oh, it's touch negative just recently?
Yeah. Right now. It's not negative, but it's in single digits. Single million.
Single millions.
Yeah.
Right. So it's pretty close there to possible floor in the stock. Yeah. But as I said, you know, we have examples of other stocks trading at negative EV right now, Rewalk being one of them, RWLK, because of the expectation that they're going to burn through that eventually and not be profitable. So I'd love to say that's a floor in this. Technically, it's a floor right now. That 200 DMA is holding. Yes. So that's good, right?
It could break, but
it could.
I mean, I'd buy more. And there's no doubt about the resource. I guess the market isn't ready to accept it yet. It wants to see it proven up a little further, but they've got the copper and it's in a great jurisdiction. There's value there.
Okay. And can you speak to any near-term catalysts? Are there any dates the company has put out there where they're going to give some updates?
Yes. They continued drilling. They started up a new drilling campaign immediately after the MRE was released. and that completed in November. The last time I checked, there was a 6 to 8 week delay at the assay labs for returning drilling results. So that puts us at about 8 weeks right now from the end of that initial drilling phase, which was further fleshing out the main pit area, which is going to be the main income generator. So we would literally be getting those drill results any day.
Oh, any day. Oh,
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good. Timely presentation we have going on here. So
Yeah.
are you, I know that, when we all got into this several months ago, man, I know a lot of people who got into QC because they really loved your presentation. They really felt your conviction and agreed with what you were saying. So high conviction. So I'm wondering, since the first time you presented this, conviction level, is it the same? Is it more? Is it less? Where are you big picture since the first time you presented this to us?
I've gone from hugely bullish to slightly more hugely bullish.
Okay.
Yeah. The news is just all good. I've been consistently impressed by everything the CEO does, which is unusual. I mean, usually I have to deal with misgivings about management of some form, but he's just been brilliant. And I mean, these miners, they have a problem. They move slowly, they draw their salaries and sit in their chairs, but to succeed, they have to move fast. Like he says, he needs to spend that money as quickly as he can, drill or die, because either way, they bleed funds because they don't have revenue. So they need to move fast, and he's doing it. He's doing everything a junior needs to.
Okay. And we have 2 interviews with him. For those of you who haven't seen it, you can hop over to youtube.com StoryTrading. Very polished, well-spoken CEO. Looks very impressive. So in this case, we're privileged to have Chris here to back up fundamentally what he's saying. So it's not just a used salesman over there, his polish, but it's actually Chris and what I like about your conviction, Chris, is you're picky about small mining companies. Like, you've told me, I've presented a couple of them to you, and you're like, these are trash. And you're like, 95% of them are all garbage.
That's
so it's not like,
true.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like you are being bamboozled by his good speaking, right?
Right.
There's
This
actually
is
substance
really an
behind it
amazing
as well.
find. I think this might be the great performer of this copper bull. It might be the kind of stock that there are, articles being written about it for years afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, he did say he intends. If you read between the lines, you don't even have to read between the lines, but most likely they are never going to actually make copper themselves here. They're going to get all the data and then sell the company, right?
Right. They'll prove up the resource as far as necessary. I think he might be targeting for a sale price around 400 or 500 million.
Okay,
Maybe
which
more,
would put
depending
this.
on how the resource pans out.
Where would that put the stock?
I haven't even done the math because they will do more offerings between here and there.
You think so? They'll need to do one more offering before they sell the company?
Yeah, they'd want to, because they want to develop this resource as much as they can. They might get higher if they can. I mean, they have the whole area mapped out using old drilling assays from the 1950s through the 1990s. They know what's in the ground, but they haven't even finished fully converting all that digitized data into maps. And there's a lot they still need to do, put it that way. A lot they could do. They could add a lot of value.
I think you previously gave us a number. Maybe you didn't, but I think you did, like around $1 is kind of your target.
No, that's my minimum right now. I think it should be trading. Using conventional mining valuation techniques, including, not using even bull market techniques. Just they should have about a minimum of $100 million market cap right now, based on, call it a late stage explorer with, an unrisked resource.
Okay.
They should be at 100 million.
And I'm seeing a 100 million EV or market cap.
EV.
Yeah, because they have that. Well, okay, because they're at 29 million market cap right now, which would put 100 million at about 67 cents.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, probably.
So-
Except they're at like 5 million EV.
Right. Okay. So 5 million EV. Okay. So
Should be up for
multiples
80
higher.
to a dollar. 80
Okay,
cents to a
got
dollar.
it. Right. Okay. So we're like 22 cents, and you think it should be 80 cents to a dollar.
I think if
Perfect.
we had a healthy market, if the miners and metals hadn't corrected, if the entire market hadn't crashed, we'd probably be up there around 60, 80 cents right now.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for the update. Anyone have any questions for Chris while you have him here? Now's your chance. You can go ahead and, in fact, you know what? I'll just change the settings. You can just go ahead and unmute yourself or throw it into chat. We'll take a minute to get questions, and then we'll move to James Ticknor on SMSI. So QC Copper and Gold, Chris Hampton, VIP pick, up 36%. We all appreciate that idea. And I don't see any questions. So what I'm going to do is just as a transition, Chris, since we have another event this week, it's a private event. It's not going to be, it's not a solicitation of the public. Only investors, private members of StoryTrading can attend. Did you want to give a quick preview on
Yeah.
the oil opportunity that you're bringing
sure.
to the community?
So I've been really, the last 6 months or so, I've been really focused on finding deals to acquire interest in producing oil wells. Not oil exploration, but actually buying wells that have been producing and have a long production curve in front of them. I mean, energy is just going to have a great decade coming up after a horrible decade behind it. And investors are eager to cash out, and there just aren't a lot of investors around that want to get into oil right now. The deals are fantastic. And I mean, maybe most importantly, if you have capital gains from 2021 or plan on making more in 2022, you have to have some strategy for mitigating the capital gains tax you pay. The best I've found is investing directly in oil production. You can, about 90% of your investment is tax deductible. With these producing wells, you can actually find banks that underwrite them, effectively pay 2/3 or more of your investment as a mortgage. And in those cases, 100% of the capital you invest is just whacked off your tax bill. I mean, you gotta find something like that. If you're not going to do oil, you have to find some other way to take care of some of those capital gains. But anyways,
Yep.
Yeah, but we have
Sure.
a specific deal. You wanted a short presentation, a short. Oops. Okay. Well, I did one with these guys from Kansas, and they've got a second deal coming up, and they've agreed to do a presentation here on Ben's show.
Yeah, they're coming Wednesday night. We have to push it back.
Yeah.
So instead of Tuesday night, 9 p.m., it's going to be Wednesday night, 9 p.m. A real unique opportunity. Even if you don't think it's for you, it's a great learning opportunity. I'm very excited just to listen and learn about all the different ways to invest in the world. So definitely looking forward to attending that event. Thank you, Chris, for setting that up for us.
You're welcome.
All right, great. Thanks. And with that, thank you, Chris. Have an awesome night. Thank you for joining us. One final note. If you're part of the VIP community, you can continue collaborating specifically on this name, QC Copper and Gold. And lots of additional events coming up. Man, so many events. I can't even mention them all. So go over our website. You can see all your events coming up. And hopefully these are timely updates at inflection points for the companies. And we're all going to make a lot of money here in the coming months. Thank you so much. For the rest of you, make sure to follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at StoryTrading. We're going to stop our recording and hang on for the VIP members, and we'll talk a little bit about stocks and trade of the week. Thank you.